Okay. So this is responsible artificial intelligence and accessibility.
You need to speak up, Alex.
Seriously, with a mask on?
Yeah.
Responsible artificial intelligence and acceptability in education, a multi-stakeholder perspective. So here we're going to use a perspective economics approach to derive, hopefully, a number of key questions that we can ask in the future or address in the future using empirical research. We're going to use like psychometrics and novel stimuli in the form of vignettes. The vignettes will be videos about the future of AI or the place of AI within the classroom and so forth in order to garner initial impressions and emotive, effective responses to those vignettes. From that, we will ask a bunch of stakeholders consisting of parents, learning, professors, etc., derived from this SOMA model. We will ask them questions that incite feeling and affect from them in order to, at the end, when we compile all of the data together, to derive like key issues involved with AI within education. Once we have those issues, we can then back off, return to the whiteboard, so to speak, and derive actual actionable intelligence for testing moving forward in terms of empirical research. So hopefully what we're hoping to get from this is to derive whether AI in support of learners is good, is it in support of teachers is better, teacher training, which one of these elements is better. The key issue and why this is such a big issue is that teaching and education is the foundational quest in society from the bottom up. So we're not going to target children, we're going to target college students, etc. However, we will probably target parents of younger children in order for them to analyse these things and think, so we get their impression of what's good for their children. Voila.
Methods-wise, what do you plan for the summer?
Methods-wise, we plan to run a very large N perspective economics.
We plan an online survey.
Yeah, we plan an
approach.
online survey, and obviously we're going to target key stakeholders initially and then expand outwards. The research is going to be qualitative. We're possibly going to derive a new method as well as the perspective economics approach. We will probably use grounded theory as well in order to analyse the data properly and derive what we class as key issues involved. So when we move forward for empirical testing, we have a good foundation and theoretical foundation moving forward.
So Alex, it's qualitative interviews?
It's all qualitative.
And surveys?
Okay.
Yeah.
But the main reason is that we, after envisioning different approaches, we thought it would be better just to start just at the bottom, one step earlier, because
The thing is, obviously, there are AI artifacts now out. Obviously, China is pushing forward with their education program. However, like ethically dubious, maybe, we don't know. But there's no actual guidelines for education in AI. There's just none. I mean, don't get me wrong, we have big tech saying we're not going to be evil. Well, what does that even mean? So what we want here is we want actual stakeholders from real people, real teachers and professionals to say, these things are good, these things are bad. Once we've identified those things, we can pick up obviously the good while trying to negate the bad and create experiments and potential systems.
So this is going to be huge. You're going to do like a table saying, okay, support of learners, support of teachers, support of teacher training, and then check, zero, check, so you could compare all these different trends.
This would be the hope. Now, in parallel with this is obviously the literature review in education. What we hope to gain from the literature review, rather than just the perspective economics approach, which would just be please give us your impressions, your affect towards these things, is we could potentially derive actual questions that are targeted as well. So you'd have vignette, give us your impressions, targeted questions. And in this way we would obviously have I suppose you could call it like a stack of information that like from the bottom up would say, okay, this is how people feel, this is how it should be approached, this is the questions we should ask.
And so I assume that it's not going to be physiological measurement that much.
No.
So, and it's going to be standard, like, okay, questions, but also how do they perform in this topic and so on. Just the standard stuff.
The thing here is we have the potential to give give a public narrative that's incredibly high level. Yeah, so in terms of the impact moving forward, we would hope, to be able to inform policymakers as well as those that inform how education is performed generally, especially in Canada.
So